Have you ever felt trapped in an emotional connection that no longer serves you? Whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, or even a family bond, sometimes the hardest thing to do is to let go, truly let go. You may tell yourself that you have moved on, that you are no longer affected, yet a part of you still feels tied to that person. Carl Jung spent his life studying the hidden forces within the human psyche, and he discovered that emotional attachments are not just mental or physical connections, they are deeply rooted in the unconscious mind. This is why simply deciding to detach is never enough. Until you understand what is keeping you tied to someone, the attachment will remain, even if the relationship itself has ended. Jung believed that relationships act as mirrors, reflecting parts of ourselves that we may not even realize exist. This is why certain people leave a lasting emotional imprint on us. It is not just about the memories or shared experiences, it is about what that person represented in our unconscious mind. If you feel unable to detach from someone, it may be because they symbolize something deeper within you. Perhaps they awakened a part of your personality you had forgotten. Perhaps they fulfilled an emotional need that you have not yet learned to fulfill within yourself. Or perhaps they triggered wounds from your past that have not yet been healed. Until these hidden meanings are brought into awareness, the attachment remains, controlling your emotions in ways you do not fully understand. One of the most powerful concepts Jung explored was projection, the idea that we do not see people as they are, but as reflections of parts of ourselves. When you feel deeply attached to someone, it is often because they carry a quality, an emotion, or an experience that exists within you but has not been fully integrated. If you have ever found yourself idolizing someone, obsessing over their presence, or feeling as though you could not live without them, it may be because you are projecting an unclaimed part of yourself onto them. You believe that they complete you, not realizing that what you truly seek is already within you, waiting to be discovered. Jung believed that true emotional detachment comes not from forcing yourself to move on, but from understanding why the attachment exists in the first place. The key is not to suppress your feelings, but to explore them. Ask yourself, what does this person represent to me? What qualities do I admire in them? What emotions do they bring out in me that I struggle to find on my own? The answers to these questions will reveal what is truly keeping you tied to them. And once you become aware of this, the attachment begins to lose its power. Another reason detachment is so difficult is because of the shadow, the hidden, suppressed parts of ourselves that we do not fully acknowledge. Jung believed that when we suppress parts of our own personality, we unconsciously seek them out in others. This is why we sometimes feel an unexplainable pull towards certain people. They reflect back to us what we have buried within ourselves. If you struggle to detach from someone, it may be because they represent a part of your shadow that you have not yet integrated. For example, if you have always suppressed your own confidence, you may find yourself drawn to someone who exudes it. If you have ignored your own emotional needs, you may cling to someone who provided validation. The unconscious mind does not let go of people easily if they are fulfilling an internal void. To truly detach, you must reclaim what you have projected onto them. Instead of looking to them for love, approval, or validation, learn to give these things to yourself. Instead of believing that they made you feel alive, ask yourself what within you craves that sense of vitality and how you can cultivate it on your own. The more you integrate these lost parts of yourself, the less you will need them to be reflected in another person. Jung also spoke of the collective unconscious, the shared psychological structures that influence all human beings. Many of the emotions we feel in relationships are not just personal, they are part of something deeper, something ancient. The pain of detachment is not just about one person, it is about the universal human experience of connection and separation. Understanding this can bring relief. It reminds you that what you are feeling is not unique to you, that millions of people before you have walked this same path, and that the pain of letting go is not a sign of weakness, but a part of being human. The final step in emotional detachment is to create a new narrative. Jung believed that humans live by stories, personal myths that shape our reality. If your story is that you cannot be happy without this person, your mind will find ways to make that true. But you have the power to rewrite the story. Instead of seeing this connection as something you have lost, see it as something that has taught you, shaped you, and prepared you for something greater. Detachment does not mean forgetting. It does not mean erasing the past. It means integrating the experience in a way that allows you to move forward with freedom rather than being chained to a memory. When you stop searching for closure outside of yourself and begin looking inward, you realize that the closure you seek was never in the other person. It was always within you. Letting go of someone emotionally is one of the hardest things a person can do. Even when logic tells you that it's time to move on, that the relationship is no longer serving you, that you should be able to detach and focus on yourself, your emotions seem to have a mind of their own. Carl Jung understood that this happens because attachments are not just surface-level connections, they are deeply ingrained in the unconscious mind. Until you address what is truly holding you to this person, the bond will remain, even if they are no longer physically present in your life. Jung believed that people enter our lives for a reason, and when we struggle to detach, it is because something about that person has activated a part of ourselves that we have yet to understand. This is why some relationships feel impossible to let go of, even when they bring pain, even when we know they are unhealthy. The more intense the attachment, the more likely it is that this person has touched something within you that has remained unresolved. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with detachment is the psychological phenomenon of projection. Jung explained that we do not see people as they truly are, we see them through the lens of our own unconscious mind. If you have placed someone on a pedestal, if you feel as though they are special or irreplaceable, if you cannot seem to stop thinking about them even when they are gone, chances are you have projected something onto them. This could be an idealized version of love, a missing part of yourself, or even an unresolved wound from your past. For example, if you never felt truly seen or appreciated as a child, you may attach deeply to someone who gives you validation, even if the relationship is unhealthy. If you grew up believing that love must be earned through sacrifice, you may unconsciously choose relationships that require you to suffer in order to feel worthy. These patterns are not random. They come from the deeper layers of the unconscious, repeating themselves until they are recognized and integrated. The reason detaching feels so difficult is that, in your mind, you are not just losing a person, you are losing what they represented to you. Jung believed that true emotional freedom comes not from forcing yourself to move on, but from understanding why the attachment exists in the first place. Instead of trying to shut down your feelings, try exploring them. Ask yourself, what emotions does this person bring out in me? What do I believe they give me that I cannot give myself? What part of me have I projected onto them? These questions may not have immediate answers, but the more you reflect on them, the more you will begin to see that your attachment is not just about the person, it is about something within you that is asking to be healed. The second major reason people struggle with detachment is the fear of emptiness. Many people hold on to relationships, even painful ones, because they are afraid of what will be left when they let go. This is especially true for those who have built their identity around another person. If you have spent years defining yourself through your role in someone else's life, a partner, a caregiver, a best friend, then detaching from them can feel like losing yourself. You are not just grieving the person, you are grieving the version of yourself that existed within that connection. Jung's answer to this was individuation, the process of becoming whole within yourself. He believed that most people seek completion through others because they have not yet found it within themselves. This is why relationships can feel so intoxicating, especially in the beginning. They give us a sense of wholeness, a feeling of being understood, of belonging. But Jung warned that relying on another person for this sense of completeness is dangerous because it places your identity in something external, something that can be lost. True freedom comes when you realize that what you are seeking in another person is something you must develop within yourself. This is why emotional detachment is not just about letting go of a person, it is about reclaiming the parts of yourself that you have projected onto them. If they made you feel loved, Ask yourself how you can cultivate that love within yourself. If they brought you excitement and adventure, ask yourself how you can bring those things into your own life. The goal is not to erase the past, but to integrate what you have learned so that you do not remain emotionally stuck. Another reason detachment feels impossible for some people is the presence of unresolved wounds from childhood. Jung believed that many of our adult struggles, especially in relationships, are echoes of earlier experiences. If you were abandoned, rejected, or made to feel unworthy as a child, those feelings do not simply disappear. They get stored in the unconscious and resurface in adulthood through relationships. This is why breakups or emotional separations can feel so painful, even when they make logical sense. The pain is not just about the current situation. It is triggering something much deeper. Healing these wounds requires more than just moving on from the person. It requires addressing the original source of pain. This is where shadow work comes in, one of the most powerful techniques Jung advocated for. The shadow is the part of ourselves that we reject, deny, or suppress. It holds our fears, our insecurities, our hidden desires. When we struggle with detachment, it is often because the person we are attached to is holding a part of our shadow. They reflect something within us that we have not yet integrated. For example, if you have always suppressed your need for emotional connection, you may become intensely attached to someone who gives you that connection. If you have denied your own worth, you may cling to someone who makes you feel valuable. These attachments are not just emotional, they are psychological. And until you integrate these parts of yourself, you will continue to feel that pull, that invisible thread that keeps you tied to them. So how do you truly detach? The first step is awareness, recognizing that your attachment is not just about the person but about what they represent within you. The second step is integration, taking back what you have projected onto them and developing those qualities within yourself. The final step is creating a new narrative. Jung believed that we live by personal myths, stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what our lives mean. If your story is that you cannot be happy without this person, then your mind will make that reality true. But you have the power to change the story. Instead of seeing detachment as a loss, see it as a transformation. Instead of focusing on what you are leaving behind, focus on what you are gaining. A deeper connection with yourself, emotional independence, and the freedom to move forward without carrying the weight of the past. True emotional detachment does not mean forgetting or shutting down your feelings. It means understanding your emotions so deeply that they no longer control you. It means looking at the relationship not with longing, but with gratitude for what it taught you. It means stepping into a new phase of life where you no longer need to hold on to someone else to feel whole. Jung believed that the path to self-discovery is not easy, but it is the most important journey a person can take. The pain of detachment is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something within you is ready to heal. Emotional detachment is not about shutting off your feelings or pretending that a connection never mattered. It is about reclaiming your power, understanding your emotions, and choosing to move forward without being controlled by the past. Carl Jung believed that true freedom comes when we integrate the lessons life gives us, rather than resisting them. Every relationship, every bond, every attachment is an opportunity to learn more about yourself. And when it is time to let go, the greatest act of self-love is allowing yourself to do so without fear, without regret, and without looking back. The pain of detachment is not a punishment. It is a sign that you are growing. It is a sign that something within you is evolving, that you are being pushed toward a deeper understanding of yourself. Many people resist this process because they believe that if they let go, it means the relationship never mattered. But this is not true. Some people come into our lives to stay, and others come to teach us something before they leave. The value of a connection is not measured by its duration, but by what it brought into your life. If you have loved deeply, if you have learned something about yourself, if you have grown in any way because of this connection, then it was not in vain. The chapter may be ending, but that does not erase the story that was written. Jung taught that everything unresolved within us will continue to shape our lives until we bring it into the light. If you struggle to detach, if you feel an invisible pull toward someone even when you know it is time to move on, ask yourself what is really keeping you tied to them. Is it love, or is it fear? Is it genuine connection, or is it an unhealed part of yourself that you have projected onto them? The more honest you are with yourself, the more freedom you will find. Healing is not an instant process, and there will be moments when you feel the weight of this emotional detachment more than others. But with each passing day, as you choose yourself, as you choose growth over stagnation, as you choose to release rather than hold on, you will notice something remarkable. You will feel lighter. You will feel stronger. And one day, without even realizing it, you will wake up and realize that the pain no longer has power over you. That the attachment that once felt unbreakable is now just a memory, one that no longer defines you, one that you can carry without letting it control your heart. Letting go is not about losing, it is about making space. Space for new experiences, new relationships, and most importantly, a deeper relationship with yourself. You are not meant to remain in the past, trapped by emotions that no longer serve you. You are meant to move forward, to step into the next chapter of your life with strength and clarity. Detachment is not the absence of love, it is the presence of self-respect. It is the decision to honor your own growth and to trust that whatever is meant for you will never require you to lose yourself in order to keep it. So if you've made it this far, I hope this message stays with you. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights on Jungian psychology, self-discovery, and emotional healing. Stay patient with yourself, stay open to growth, and remember, letting go is not the end. It is the beginning of something new. Take care and keep moving forward.